Welcome to our first tutorial using the microscribe digitizer. So what we're going to look at is we're going to look at the different parts of the microscriber, how we kind of use it, and then we'll look at the setup and how we have it ready to be able to scan in parts and put them into SolidWorks. Now the digitizer works right alongside with SolidWorks with an add-on program called RevWorks. So in order to start this off, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to open up the microscribe utility here on the desktop, and we just say OK for welcome to the utility. What that does is that connects the microscribe and the computer, and they're talking. But you can see in this case that we have a red light on the back of the microscribe. That's not quite connected yet. Right behind that, there's a button. We can just push that button, and that light should turn green. And now we have a good connection. Then we can just go over and we can open up SolidWorks. And as SolidWorks opens up, we have also RevWorks menu bar will open right up on the top along with it. And that's our measurement piece of equipment that's going to let us have our data be entered right into SolidWorks. The utility we can then close down. Okay, so then to continue, what we're going to take a look at then is our parts of the microscribe, and then we'll look at how we can get set up ready to go. Our microscribe digitizer is this device sitting on the table here. You can notice it's an arm with a couple of elbows that will just lift out of the container and then rotate around, that you will press onto the surface and then click on foot pedal in order to make a measurement happen. Or if you don't have foot pedals, you can use the space bar as well as your enter tool, but it's nice with the foot pedals, which we have. Okay, so that's our basic tool, and it moves around and we set it here. Okay, now once we have set up into our SolidWorks, we're going to go ahead and open up a new part. So we open up our new part. And what we're going to do in this case is we're going to mount our material. I've already mounted my piece on the table. Okay, I've mounted it someplace on our grid. And then we are going to work on getting the microscribe set up and home ready to go. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up to this box on the File menu, in the RevWorks menu, that has 3 green dots on it. And we click that, and I'm going to bring this down a little bit so we can see what's happening. We have a couple different choices: 3-point datum, 3-sphere datum, custom datum. We're going to start with the 3-point datum. And that's going to let us be able to measure what our starting point is and where our axes are, our X and Y axis, in terms of making data point measurements. So we click on Measure. And it tells us then what we need to do is have the proper home position with the probe in its port, which is in that little divot right here. And we need to make sure it's parallel to our plane. And now the part that has to be parallel is the part, we have 2 circles. You see on the one side we have a small circle, on the back side we have a big circle, and there's a flat line, a flat plane along this edge. We want to set that edge to be parallel with the bottom of our grid table. Okay, once that is set, now hold it there, we click the home button on the screen, and we're set to be home. And now if you look up here at the top, it says enter your origin point, or it just did there for a second. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our microscribe, we're going to go down right to our 0, 0 origin point, and we're going to right click or click the right foot pedal. Okay, then it will say enter the horizontal positive axis point. So we just move down the axis of direction. So it's telling us what our X direction is, our horizontal distance. We click once, and we ask us for the vertical, as you see up on that top bar, enter positive vertical direction point, just someplace on that axis, and click again. Okay, and now we have told the microscribe where it is. We have homed the machine, and we have set up what our axes are. And that's our basic setup for getting the microscribe ready to work.